What is up? Oh, I'm in a good mood today. What is up, everybody? And welcome back to Run It Up Podcast. I'm your host, Najee Adams. You know, I got my guy with me, Jalaal Sandy, in the building.
Oh, you're in a great mood. My God. What's up, bro?
How
What's
you
good?
doing today, bro?
Chilling, man. Just got off of work a couple hours ago.
Oh, yeah. See, we grinding. He just got off work. I'm finna
I'm in
start
like
work.
the peak hours of my day.
Yeah. He
The most energy I'm gonna have.
This is like the little window we got before I start work, because I start work at 4. It's currently 2:59, so we cutting it close, but whatever. I start work at 4. He got off work at 1, and so we just recording right now because we can't record tonight and we can't record tomorrow because I work and it's the NBA Finals, so that's gonna be tough. And then Friday, I feel like hey, I'm gonna be honest, NBA season gonna be over on Friday, so there's nothing to record that. And then and so yeah, we recorded today. I've been chilling though. I went into the office yesterday. It's cool. It's a new office in the city for FanDuel. We get into that money on now. So they got an office at 1 Madison Ave. So it was my first time in there. I didn't have a badge before, but I got a badge now. So I've been an employee, but I just never go into the office. So there was no reason to have it. But I wanted one, so I got one. Yeah, it's been pretty chill. I'm working from home today. We've been cooling, but yeah, and the weather's nice. That's low key why I'm in a good mood, because I guess good weather. Yesterday was all rainy and shit, but now it's like 80 degrees outside. Nice, cool, calm. We recorded in the morning. It's not 80. I haven't been outside all day. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, I'm saying 80 is
yes, 79. I have recorded 79.
I thought it'd be hotter but I mean it's
next week is
New York.
Crazy. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is 96, 97, 95. Like damn.
Bro, it's been 85 plus in Charlotte for like the last month.
Damn.
So and
we've been getting like
thunderstorming at night.
That's insane. We've been getting like 60s and shit like that. But yeah, today on the Run It Up Podcast, make sure you subscribe to Run It Up Pod everywhere the podcasts are found. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, TikTok at the Run It Up Podcast. You can find the Twitter at Run It Up Pod. I'm on Twitter at Najee Adams _ and Jalaal at JSandy45 _ Today we're talking NBA. We're gonna go through game 6, talk a little bit about how game 5 shook out, the Desmond Bane trade, which was really the big blockbuster to kick off the NBA offseason. And then we'll talk some. I'm looking at it as we speak, even though it's technically not the offseason, but like for 28 teams it is. For 2 it isn't. But then we'll talk.
The Pacers made a trade too. That's crazy.
They did. And during the finals.
During the finals, they made a little trade. I've never seen that before. But hey,
yeah, they
welcome to 2025 NBA.
And then we'll end it off with just kind of like a general NFL check-in. Because we haven't talked football in a while on the pod, I feel like. Granted, the season's been over since February. So like there's been nothing to really talk about other than the draft. So we'll go through just kind of like some of the signings that have happened, some of the trades, talk about some of the trades that can still happen before the NFL season starts, before training camp starts. But yeah, that'll be towards the back end of the pod. So before we get into stuff, got to do song of the week. Jalaal, bro, what is your song of the week?
Ooh, let me grab my phone. So I'm cheating again. Hey, focus on me, camera. Damn.
There you go.
I'm cheating again because I've been trying to get this song on for like the last 3 weeks, but too much heat coming out, so I had to just push it back. So I got 2 songs. The first song is, I don't really know if this is considered R&B. I don't know if it's considered like hip hop, but he's a singing guy, so we're just gonna say this is R&B. I was on TikTok and he had it on the radar little snippet. He posted it on TikTok, and I was like, "Yo, this song is fire! Like this shit is smooth." Come to find out, he's from the UK. I'm like, "Oh, fucking course, they do everything better."
Love you some UK music, boy.
Listen, bro. Outside of the drill rap, they do everything better than Americans. Besides make meals and rap, they sing better than us. They act better than us. They just know how to go through something. They don't shoot each other.
Yeah,
they get into it. They gonna poke you up. That's about it. But this song is called "One More" by Nippa. I think this is right up your alley, sir. I think you would.
Oh, is it?
Genuinely enjoy this song. The second song bonus, quote unquote. I had no idea Burna Boy was dropping an album this year in like a month or so. He has a song out with Travis Scott called Ta Ta Ta, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It came out about a month ago, but yeah, Ta 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 by Burna Boy featuring Travis Scott is my second song.
Beautiful, man. We got 2 songs of the week now. My song of the week, it's not a new song. It's by Herbo. It's called Went Legit. I think everyone has kind of heard
Wow,
it.
I'm
It's
shocked.
yeah, but it's a banger. I
Mhm.
was listening. It came up on I had downloaded it when it first came out, but then I was just going like I never just put my library. That's actually a good like how do you listen to music? Do you just put your library on shuffle? Because I never do that
Yeah.
because then it'll be some shit from 2009 and I'm like, I'm not trying to hear this. So I always
Skip.
I always just
Yep.
play I always just play a playlist that I have, but I just put my shit on shuffle one day and this
See,
came up and I was like, damn, this shit hard.
me, I feel like when I put if I wanted to make like at this point, if I wanted to make a playlist, I have so much music in my playlist. I just don't feel like searching through shit. It's like if I
Yeah,
want to
I
hear
feel
something,
you.
I'm just gonna go to the most recent thing and then off of that, like make a play next, play next, play next. That's
Yeah.
kind of like almost like when you're on aux, but kind of just by myself.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna start doing that more often because you get to hear. Because right now, I only listen to since I play off the playlist, I only listen to like new shit. Like I want to hear the old Drake, the old like you feel
Yeah,
me, like the old songs you used to listen to. So I'm gonna start doing that. But Went Legit
I
by
put
Herbo. What'd you say?
Play Legit by Herbo. That's your song.
Yeah, that's my song. That shit
You got
hard.
a second song?
That shit tough. I don't have a second song, but I could give you a second song. I always got a second song.
Man, don't throw no
Uh
bullshit up there, man.
Actually, honestly, I'm gonna put my library on shuffle, and the first good song that comes up, that's not J Rock came up. That's nasty. See, this why I don't put my
What's
song
the song
shit on
though?
shuffle.
What's the song
Uh,
though?
the song is "Knock It Off" by J Rock. I don't even remember downloading this
That
song.
song
I don't
stinks.
even remember
Is
this
that
song.
off
See,
of
this is why
is that off of
it's
what's
off
that
the joint we reviewed on
Redemption?
Metro Bros.
Redemption?
Yeah,
I
so
like the
whatever album
album,
that
but
is.
I hate that song.
All right, my second song of the week is Pimmy's Dilemma of Some Sexy Songs for You, the Drake and Party
Okay,
shit.
sure. Go ahead. That's fine.
That's a great song. That's probably my favorite song on the album, to be honest.
I
But
haven't
yeah,
listened to
see,
it since it dropped. I'm not gonna
Dark
lie.
Conversations, Rod Waves, the next thing that came up. Dave East came up next.
Yeah, you like the other day I was shuffling and like I told you, like what was the song I had last time?
Jeezy
Jan-
came up.
Young Jeezy? That's crazy.
Yes.
January 28th kept coming on. But recently, like an ASAP Rocky song from his first mixtape came on. I was like, damn, because I used to download mixtapes from
Me
Spinrilla and
too.
throw it
My
in my
shit.
Apple library.
Yeah,
So I still
yeah,
have like before they put 1999 Joey Badass mixtape
yeah.
on Apple Music, I had it off Spinrilla and it was like DatPiff. That was the other one. It was like
Yeah, Spinrilla used to
DatPiff.com.
be the shit. Spinrilla had its own
Yeah,
app.
bro.
You had your own library, Spinrilla, bro. Spinrilla was
My
fire.
Spinrilla library. I still got that Uzi song "Ready Set Go" from
Yes,
Spinrilla in
yes.
my Apple library.
No, bro. I got mad
Shout out
Spinrilla shits in
Spinrilla
my
though.
shit. Shout out Spinrilla, dead ass.
Got us through high school for real.
It did. I remember being on the bus just pressing shuffle on my Spinrilla. But yeah, that song's of the week. It'll be in the description as usual. We could dive into NBA talk. Do you want to talk like finals or you want to talk Desmond Bane first? Because I feel like finals, like I feel like I low key want to talk Desmond Bane. Oh, you want to talk finals? I bet.
Yeah,
NBA
man. Yeah.
finals,
Current
3-2
event.
series, 3-2 series. Nuggets won, not Nuggets. I'm tripping. Thunder won at home in game 5. They're going to Indiana for game 6, up 3-2. I said Thunder in 5 originally before the series started. That obviously has not come true. My new prediction is Thunder in 6. I think the NBA season ends on Thursday. I think that we do not go 7, partly because I do not want to, partly because that makes it more difficult for me at work, but also because I think that the Thunder want to just end the series on Thursday and boom. So, but I would like to hear your thoughts. How do you think game 5 went? What do you think is happening in game 6? Talk to me.
My original prediction was Thunder in 6. And, I figured Indiana might steal one of the first 2, and then they get one at home. But I'd like to say, because we didn't get to pod after game 3.
Yes.
After game 3, the discourse around the Pacers and the Thunder were so nasty. Like everybody was basically saying, like, oh, ring culture is going to be questioned. It wasn't even if, it was when the Pacers win this, because everybody's like, oh, the Pacers are going to win game 4. And I'm like, brother, the Thunder have done this all season. They haven't lost back-to-back games since like March, February. And it was crazy because the same thing with the Pacers. Like these were two of the most consistent teams over the last 3, 4, 5 months of the season. So going into game 4, that was my favorite game of the series. Like I kind of didn't get to watch game 1 live. I fell asleep at halftime. But game 4 was fucking fire. Like I lost sleep. I ran on 3 hours of sleep at work the next day because I'm like, I can't miss this game. This is the most important game of the series, bro. And I'm telling people at work, like, this is the last bit of basketball we're getting until October, November.
You gonna be hungry for a basketball game in goddamn in August.
And a lot of people that watch the NBA casually don't watch WNBA like I do, but a lot of people don't. And then they turn on the Chicago Sky and see Angel Reese missing mad layups, and they're like, whoa. So,
bro, you gotta enjoy this shit because really after this is until NFL start in September, it's really just MLB and WNBA because hockey over.
It's baseball and women's basketball.
That's it.
I don't mind. I watch both, so I'm cool. But to you, it's a little different. But to my point, like the discourse after game 3 was so nasty, and I felt like game 4 to me was like the legacy game to me personally. Like J-Dub had a great game and Shea played terrible for 3 quarters and all of a sudden just turned on a switch. And that honestly, I felt like that shifted the momentum of the whole series. Like it felt to me like the Pacers had control of the entire game the same way they did in game 3. And then all of a sudden I look at the end of the third quarter and I'm like, wait, the Thunder are down 9 points. They can easily win this game. And I see Shea. I'm like, they need like a good 8 to 10 minutes, just a solid 8 to 10. Caruso starts hitting some shots. Shea starts hitting shots. I'm like, here we go. Then Halliburton going back and forth. Ben Mathurin start bricking. Neesmith start bricking.
Ben Mathurin
Nemhard start bricking.
Maybe the worst 3 minutes I've seen.
After having the best game of his life. Had maybe the worst sequence I've ever seen from a guy that just had the best game of his life. But after that, to me, it felt like, okay, I can actually see Thunder in 6. Game 5 to me kind of played out how I thought it would. I didn't expect 20 from TJ McConnell, but we could just say that 20 might have came from Hallie if Hallie was a little bit healthier. Anyway, J-Dub scoring 40, absolutely beautiful. Like he had a fantastic game. All of them people throwing out propaganda that he should be Finals MVP, please stop. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 33 points.
He's getting the Iggy MVP.
But that's not even the Iggy MVP. Like he's playing really well. But Shea, come on, bro. Shea is averaging 33 in the series. And he just had a 31, 10 assists, 4 block, 2 steal game. Fantastic. He's the first player or one of 4 players to have 15 games of 30 plus points in a single postseason. Do you know the other 3? Because I was kind of
Jordan. Stats like that are always like Jordan. So I would say
it's always Jordan.
I would say
Jordan. He's always
Jordan. Braun.
No, Braun is not on
scoring. Nigga. Yeah, Kobe's
on there.
Yeah, Jordan, Kobe, Shea, and you said there's one more.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq.
No, it's Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh, I wouldn't have got there. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't have said Hakeem.
And to me, it was like the years that it happened. So Jordan did it twice. Kobe did it once, and Hakeem did it once. Hakeem did it in 1994, and that was his MVP season plus the year they won a championship. So I'm like, okay, this is like putting them on the map. Kobe did his in 2009, which was the first of the back-to-back. Jordan did his in 92. And I want to say 93. Maybe he only did it once. I remember one of them being 92 though. And 92 was again a back-to-back chip. So a lot of these are just like coming of age performances where like you really got to go get it and you're trying to prove yourself. And I think Shea is at the point where it's like he's trying to get his legacy to a point that a lot of guys that are in his stratosphere just aren't at yet. Like
Yeah.
We aren't having these conversations about Anthony Edwards. We aren't having these conversations about Tyrese Halliburton. We kind of having them about Tatum, but not really, because
Not really though. Yeah.
Tatum hasn't won an MVP. Tatum
No.
doesn't have a Finals MVP, which Shea would have if they won. These are like conversations for LeBron, Steph, Jokic, Giannis.
Yeah.
Like this is a new era that he's in. So to me, it's crazy to watch, because I like to see how people become superstars and they throw the term around so loosely. But for me personally, like a lot of the times when guys are pushed up to this pedestal that they're just not ready for, i.e. Tyrese Halliburton, who everybody said top 10, top 10, top 10. He's not a top 10 player. I tried to tell y'all last week. He's just not. It's cool. He's top 15-ish. But, and I think I had him 12. But it's like, you got to be, it's maybe like 7 or 8 guys that you'd be like, yo, he's a superstar. Even if you had your top 10, your entire top 10 might not be straight superstars. You might have 1 or 2 that are like borderline. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. But shout out to Shea, shout out to J-Dub. J-Dub is now, if they win, he's going to be in conversations about, is he the best number 2 option in the league? Because you got like Jaylen Brown and
Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I'm thinking it's like Jaylen Brown. That's really the
Jaylen Brown is the first one.
LeBron technically.
LeBron, Luka, whoever you, yeah,
LeBron. I guess if AD and Kyrie is healthy, whatever one of them, you know.
No, but I'm saying like, even like in just history, like,
oh, you saying like
he's getting like Scottie Pippen like people like, oh my god, he's Jordan, like he's Shea's Scottie Pippen, or like he's Shea's D Wade, or whatever the case may be. It should be interesting though. Like, I think they do win tomorrow. But I could see it going 7, because the Pacers just have so many guys. Like I feel like this is the 10th time I've said this. So many guys that can just drop 30 at the drop of a hat. And you're sitting there like, oh my God, how did they let Ben Shepherd score 25 points off the bench? Yeah. And it's because Ben Shepherd just stays ready, bro. Like, they have a team. Shout out to the Pacers for proving us wrong this entire playoff series. Like, I've always deep down inside, I
had them losing to the Bucks.
Bro, if you go back, I literally said the Pacers have the better team, and I'm still picking the Bucks. Yeah. I think we've learned that teams with superstars don't necessarily always get the edge like they used to. Like, before, it used to just be, if you have the superstar, you have more star power, you should win the series. But that's just not the case anymore. The league is so talented where there's a imbalance of what, like, the contributions you're getting from your team. Like, one guy can't do it all anymore, regardless of how many times we've seen it throughout history. I think the game of basketball is changing. Strategically is changing. The way teams are structured is changing, as we saw with the Desmond Bane trade, which we'll get into in a little bit. But what's your thoughts, bro? Like, you had it in 5, so I think you underestimated the Pacers again.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the theme. I think kind of what you were saying, whereas like a team, it used to be like, oh, you're only as good as your best player, or like you are the team with the best player usually wins. But now, kind of like what you're saying, like I think you're only as good as the worst player in your rotation, right? Like that's like what the NBA has become now, and I think that's cool. I think that there's a lot of sports where that isn't the case, but for the NBA, like I think that has become the case. In terms of like Pacers Thunder, I have them winning in 6. I had them winning in 5. I gave the Pacers a game. I just kind of think that the Thunder are one of the best teams we've ever seen, ever. And so like I gave them the benefit of like, okay, maybe you drop one, maybe you like trick one off, cool. And the Pacers ended up getting 2. I don't think they get another one. I think that I wanted to ask you, like, does Shea become the Thunder's franchise GOAT if they do win this title? And he has the MVP, he has the Finals MVP. I think right now most people consider it KD, but like, you know,
I think their franchise GOAT is Russ. Like, he's not the best player.
He played the most games and shit.
It's kind of like, it's to me, it's like how you would say LeBron is the best player to ever play for the Miami Heat, but D Wade is their franchise GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, like, LeBron's the best player to ever play for the Lakers. You know, like he's the best player to ever play for every team he's ever been on.
Yeah, but not that version of him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah,
version
yeah.
of LeBron you got for the Lakers is not the version,
No,
the
not the
best
best player.
version of,
No,
and it's not even the best version of him.
no.
But for like KD, you could argue part of his OKC tenure was like the best. Like, he won an MVP. He had 3 scoring titles. They went to the conference finals twice. They went to the NBA finals. They just couldn't beat LeBron, honestly, and most people can't.
Yeah,
It's just tough,
yeah,
except for Steph
yeah.
and Tim Duncan. But for Shea, like, I think there's a legit case just because they haven't won a championship since the 70s. Technically,
Yeah,
the Thunder haven't won shit.
joint. Yeah, yeah, they haven't won
The
anything.
Thunder ain't won shit, but their franchise, since you want to have the relocation, they haven't won a championship since the 70s. Like, this is Shea can say, hey, I've done something KD couldn't do, something Russ couldn't do, Gary Payton couldn't do it, Sean Kemp couldn't do it, Detlef Schrempf couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah, and
like,
I think
all
that
these Hall of Famers, I think when you can stack yourself up against Hall of Famers, you have a legit case. And this might be the beginning of a legit dynasty.
And I think that like context is important, and like people, you can rattle off the accolades. Yeah, 3 scoring titles. Russ got the MVP. Cool. They went to the finals, a bunch of conference finals. But like also, I think a lot of people don't consider KD their franchise GOAT because of how he left them. Like, that matters. You can say what you want. Like, your franchise GOAT is not going to be someone that up and left you for when you had a 3-1 lead, blew it, and then went and won 2 chips. Like, not happening. And then if you want to say it's Russ, cool. I think Russ and the Thunder like amicably split ways. And so for me, I'm saying like it's Shea or Russ. Russ as the best player on the Thunder didn't really do very much. Shea as the best player on the Thunder won an MVP, about to win a Finals MVP, won a chip, was the best team led one of the best teams we've ever seen, period, and had had the best regular season record. So I'm cool. It's only been 5 seasons of Shea on the Thunder, but I'm saying he's their GOAT.
But what's crazy is I think like as a talent, I think Shea is more talented than Russell Westbrook. Like, KD also is a more talented player than Russell Westbrook. Russ is just a freak of nature, and he puts up gaudy stats, which I'm not even trying to downplay what he did. But and also the teams that Russ played on once KD left, they weren't even that great. Like, they had Paul George. He was cool, but come on now. Melo was like in the back half of his career, and then like the first year, it was Victor Oladipo and Sabonis, and that shit didn't really work because it was a weird fit. Oladipo hadn't really broken out yet. Sabonis hadn't broken out yet. So it was just weird. But Shea came into like the perfect situation. They were rebuilding. Russ was gone. Paul George was gone, obviously. They bring in Chris Paul to kind of mentor him. And slowly but sure, like year by year, if you just go on his stats, you can see year by year how he improved gradually, slowly. But every year you could tell he was getting a little bit better. And then last year or 2 years ago, he was averaging 27, 28, but he got hurt. So people were like, he's got to stay healthy. Then he comes out last year, averages 30 in his sleep. Yeah. We're like, whoa. And they won almost 60 games last year. So I would say Shea's tenure.
They just ran into Luka.
Right. Exactly. No, they weren't. I don't really think they were ready last year. They should have. No. They were a better team than the Mavs were, to me. Like, they were definitely more talented, but they weren't ready. Like, Shea's game hasn't matured a lot. J-Dub has gotten a lot better.
Dub was nowhere near where he is right now.
Chet's gotten better, even though he be on some bullshit sometimes. Now they now have Hartenstein. They now have Caruso. Yeah. Lou Dort is a better shooter than he was last year. Like, they're just the most improved team after you were already the number 1 seed in the West is insane. And my last point is what I was saying about his tenure. Like, you can say you look at from the time he got there to now, and you look at from when KD got there to basically when they went to the finals, it stacks up pretty well. Like, KD, I think KD was a better player probably like at that time than Shea is right now. But I mean, you could argue the opposite. Shea just coming off an MVP. He's a top 3 player in the league. KD was kind of in the same situation. He won his MVP a little bit later, but he was already averaging 30 by his 3rd year in the league. Yeah. So like, that's a great conversation though. Like, The nostalgia
me,
of KD on the Thunder is crazy. Like KD hasn't been on the Thunder in almost 10 years.
Yeah. He about to be on his fourth team? What he got Thunder, Suns, Nets, Thunder, Suns, Nets. Am I forgetting one? Warriors, yeah. Thunder Warriors.
His next team would be his 5th team. That is insane.
Shit.
You have no like lasting legacy with any team.
No, none of the teams claim you. It's crazy. None of the if a team was to claim him, I feel like it would be OKC, but they feel like he up and left us. So we not claiming you.
I feel like they've healed from that.
I don't know, bro. KD's man. You see KD on Twitter, he be fighting Thunder fans, boy. They be saying like, "Yo, we would love to claim you, but whenever we think about how your legacy ended here, it's hey, we blew this lead, and you went to go win this chip. The Warriors don't claim him because he's just like a mercenary that won them these 2 chips. Yeah. The Nets don't claim him because he really wasn't there. They didn't do shit. And then the Suns don't claim him because they also didn't do shit. Yeah. So it's tough. But regardless, I think for me, I'm saying Shea would be their go if they win this chip. I'm saying Thunder in 6, and I think they blow the Pacers out next game. I do. I think they blow them out on Thursday. I think they win by.
They snatch their hearts.
I think they win by 14 plus.
I thought
on the road.
40, bro.
Nah, I think they win by 14 plus on the road in Indy. We're gonna be seeing the Rick Carlisle, Tyrese Halliburton interviews, hearing the Pacers, hearing the Thunder in the locker room. Yeah, popping champagne and them looking sad and shit. That's what we gonna be watching on Twitter.
That's your prediction. Thunder by 14.
Thunder by 14 plus. Put that in. Someone bet that shit. Thunder 14 plus. Bro, that's immaculate.
Before game 4, one of my coworkers was like, "You know the Pacers are gonna win tonight, right?" And I turned to him, and this is gonna sound like a lie, but I promise you, this is my exact words. I say, "Yo, Thunder by 7." I checked the score at the end of the game. Them motherfuckers won by 7. I was like, I should have bet that, bro. I should have bet it. I'll say Thunder by 9. I don't think it's like a close 9.
Yeah,
I think they win.
They hit some shots at the end. Yeah.
I don't know how healthy Tyrese is. I'm not totally counting out the Pacers either. Like, we know how the Pacers play when they're at home, but when it's someone's time, bro, it's someone's time. And I think the Thunder while the Pacers figured out some things about the Thunder, I think the Thunder have also figured out stuff about themselves. Like, they just had some self-reflection. I was like, we can honestly just give the ball to our 2 best players and let them go to work. And honestly, nobody could really stop them. And as long as we're getting a good contribution from a combination of Chet, Hartenstein, Caruso, Dort, we gonna be all right. And a surprise game from either Aaron Wiggins or Isaiah Joe, maybe, or Case and Wallace. Like, it, as long as
Kenrich Williams.
Yeah, Kenrich Williams was playing the other night. Did Jalen Williams play this series? I feel like I saw him in one game.
I don't know. He might have played.
Maybe game 2.
Yeah.
Maybe game 2. But yeah, as long as they get like solid contributions from the others, I think they'll be fine. Because I expect Shea to show up. I expect J-Dub to show up. Also, J-Dub had 25 points in 3 straight finals games. I think he's like the 5th player to do that. I saw it was like him, D Wade, KD, I can't remember the other. I think maybe like Shaq and somebody else. It's like, damn, bro. J-Dub and Shea making history. That's elite company.
Is J-Dub better than Jaylen Brown? I would say yes.
At this moment in time, the way Jaylen Brown looked all season, he did not shoot well at all this year. It's probably his worst shooting year in like 3 years. He was playing hurt. He was inconsistent, turning the ball over like crazy. And with this being J-Dub's first All-NBA season, and honestly, outside of the Nuggets series, he's been really good the entire playoff run. Like, it's not crazy to say that right now he'd be better than Jaylen Brown, and especially coming off a chip. Recency bias is a bitch, but I mean, when you win a championship, there's a lot of things people can't argue against you. But also, I want to say, being the number 2, because I heard Nick Wright say this, and I honestly believe this, being the number 2 option on a great team is probably the best job in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, you get none of the
when
pressure.
you win, you get if you play well in a win, you get so much credit. And if you play like ass in a loss, people blame the number one because they're like, hey, why didn't you do more? Like me, I look at J-Dub game one, he was like 5 for 19. I'm like, yo, J-Dub, what you doing, bro? But some people be like, Shea could have did a little bit more. They only lost by 1. You know what I'm saying? It's a great spot to be in because you don't get a lot of criticism and you get a ton of credit. So I pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes on that one.
Me personally, I'm saying I'm looking at what does Jaylen Brown do better than Jalen Williams? For me, I think Jaylen Brown I think they're about a similar scorer. Maybe I'll say Jaylen Brown is a better scorer.
They score like in similar fashion.
I'll say Jaylen Brown is like a slightly better scorer than Jalen Williams. I think Jalen Williams is a better shooter. I think he's a better playmaker. I think he's a better defender. And so I think he's a better defender.
I don't know about that one.
I think it's close.
I don't know about that one, brother.
In the same way that I give the like slight nod to Jaylen Brown on scoring, I give the slight nod to Jalen Williams on defense. And then at that point, it's 3-1. So I'm taking Jalen Williams at that point. But I do think it's close. I think like if Jaylen Brown is like the 17th best player in the NBA, Jalen Williams is like the 17th best player in the NBA. Jalen Brown's like the 18th, 20, right? Yeah. Like
top 20, top 25. Okay, cool.
I don't think that it's like this massive gap.
No, it's not.
But yeah, that brings us to our next conversation. The next piece of NBA news: Desmond Bane gets traded to the Orlando Magic from the Memphis Grizzlies. Really, the first trade to start off the whole NBA offseason. Blockbuster out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was doing Desmond Bane trade hypotheticals. So. One, I want to ask you, what was your first reaction to seeing Desmond Bane traded? And two, do you think it was a good deal? The deal ended up being KCP, who is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, obviously, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected firsts, and a swap for Desmond Bane straight up. And so, yeah, what was your first impressions, and who do you think won the deal?
I was shocked because, one, I missed it because I was in church. So just checked my phone after church. I was like, whoa, okay.
I thought it was like them fake Shams accounts. I thought it was like one of them at first, but I was like, oh no, that's him.
It feels like that, especially when it's a blockbuster and you're like, is this really happening? But I like it for both teams because I see who won. I don't know because I see both sides like. For the Grizzlies, ironically, last week or a couple weeks ago, we were doing our Giannis mock-ups or KD mock-ups, and I realized that the Grizzlies didn't really have space to like sign someone to help their current roster. So I'm like, they got to trade either Bane or JJJ, and I'm like, who would they trade? Like, I didn't think anybody would take on Bane's contract, but honestly, Bane is a great shooter. He's one of the better shooters in the NBA. Like. Off ball, on ball movement, and his creation is enough to ease Franz and Paolo, like as a third option, and a guy that just takes pressure. Like shooting takes so much pressure off of guys that live in the paint or live attacking the basket downhill. My main concern when the trade first came out, I'm like, damn, they don't really have a point guard. Like Jalen Suggs is a nice guard. Like I love Jalen Suggs, the player, but his role on the Magic, I didn't love last year, but also he played like 30 games. So maybe I was being a little unfair. And also Franz is really their de facto PG. He's the best playmaker on the team. He's a really good passer. If he cuts down the turnovers, and honestly, I feel like with more spacing and with more fluidity offensively, granted, I don't think the Magic are done signing guys and getting other shooters. They might sign 2 more shooters before the offseason is over, and we might be like, yo, the Magic are a serious threat to maybe get to the conference finals. But I think this trade is a result of other teams feeling like this is their chance to maybe become relevant in the East while the Celtics take not a year off, because the Celtics will make the playoffs next year, most likely, but maybe a step back while Jason Tatum heals from his injuries, and they retool a little bit. And you see the Pacers going blow for blow with the OKC Thunder just because once you make it there, you always have a chance. And the Knicks looked really good this season, and they went for their move with Mikal Bridges and Cat, and the Magic maybe thought, hey, we need a shooter. KCP was not the guy that we signed him to be, and Desmond Bane has shown the ability to be an elite shooter. Proof of that being he was in the 3-point contest at least once, maybe twice. So, I mean, they don't just pick anybody to be in the 3-point contest. He's a really good shooter. I might have to start pushing my Paolo for MVP agenda soon, depending on what moves they make, because I did say he'd be the next U.S.-born MVP player. For the Grizzlies, like I said, they had to move somebody. And honestly, I think they're done right now, but I don't see how they build their team around Ja and Jaren Jackson. Do you think they're gonna give Jaren Jackson a supermax? I personally would not. I feel like
they kind of have to.
They don't have to.
You know, I guess they can move him, but like he's not gonna accept anything less than the max extension because he has been a DPOY. Like been a lot of they've asked him to do a lot. Ja's supposed to be the best player on the team, and yet he plays half a season, and then they're like, "Hey, Jared, make some shit shake." So like he has had to do a lot for them. So I do think that he probably asked for a max. If they don't want to give it to him, they can trade him. But like some team's gonna give it to him, you know. Like
I'm saying I don't think the Grizzlies are. I'm not saying he's not worth what he's gonna ask for. I'm saying for the Grizzlies because now it's like it's not even about what you're worth. It's about are you worth that for a certain team?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of teams are going to be in that situation where they have guys who have been all-stars, all-NBA players, all-defensive team players, and they may be worth the $50 million they're asking for. But for your team specifically, do they meet that value? And honestly, like, I don't know if they do. I just feel like the Grizzlies may need to retool a little bit. Like, if you're trying to build – I don't know if Ja can be the best player on a championship team. Like that iteration of the Grizzlies probably reached their ceiling. The Grizzlies front office probably realized that, which is why they fired Taylor Jenkins and traded Desmond Bane. And maybe they try to get someone better than Ja. Like I think
Jaren is way more. I think Jaren's way more tradable. Like I think he can fit into way more teams than Ja can.
And that's why I'm thinking they may not give him. They may trade him on the last year of his deal.
Yeah, because I think trying to find a fit for Ja is tough because the Grizzlies are already gonna want he is their franchise. Like they've crafted their entire branding, the way that they speak on Twitter, like the things that they say are Ja based. And so you move him, you move the franchise. Whereas and also they're going to ask for a lot. And a lot of teams are cool with their point guards currently. Like a lot of teams are good with their situation. Whereas you can trade, you also have to build a very specific team around Ja. And whereas you can trade for Jaren, catch and I don't want to say catch and shoot, but stretch big, who is one of the better rim protectors in the league and who stretches the floor. You can fit him into a lot of different teams and be like, all right, cool, I'm down trading for Jaren Jackson. Now, at whatever price point the Grizzlies are going to ask, you might not be okay. Right. But just as a pure player, I think he's much easier to find a fit for than Ja.
Yeah, to me, it's just a matter of value to your situation. Team with this new CBA, teams are not in a place where they can just say, hey, you deserve this, so we're going to give it to you. The Knicks were able to do that because Jalen Brunson said, hey, I'm just going to take less money so we can pay who we need to pay, bring back the guys we need to bring back. OG gets a max, which we can argue whether or not he deserved it, but that's here nor there. You're able to trade for Cat and trade for Mikal Bridges, who I feel like they'll extend him this offseason because honestly, you're not getting Giannis. Let's be honest. Giannis isn't going.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think they're interested in getting Kevin Durant. So and honestly, you don't know who's available, but who's really out there where you can say, let's go get him. Maybe just improve your bench, extend Mikal for a year or two, and just ride out with this core for the next 2 or 3 years and figure out what you need to improve on. A lot of team solution is not, we got to make a big
star.
Yeah. That is not the NBA. That's the NBA we grew up with and the NBA that we know and love, but it is changing every year. I feel like a lot of these deals with the 4 first-round picks, 5 first-round picks, like I think about everybody's talking about Mikal Bridges and Gobert, but I honestly think about when Pascal Siakam got traded. Like maybe this Desmond Bane trade is something like that, where I didn't even think Pascal would be the guy to take the Pacers over the hump, but we all knew he was a really good player. Like we had no issue with it. They were not winning anything on the Raptors. The Pacers got a second All-Star. We're like, cool. Hey, this might be a little exciting. And they've made 2 conference finals since they've made that trade. So I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it at all. If the Pacers make a conference finals in the next 2 to 3 years, who's to argue? Oh my God, you get 5 first-round picks. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, nobody cares. And I think that like nowadays and just like team building, kind of what we were saying, like you're as good as the worst player in your rotation. And so like you look at the last 2 teams to win the chip, obviously I'm going to assume the Thunder win the chip. Like this summer, they didn't go out and say, hey, let's move for another star. They went out and they traded for Alex Caruso. They moved off Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso to build out their rotation, and they signed Isaiah Hartenstein. Those are their 2 big moves. You look at the post-championship Celtics. That offseason, they traded for Jrue Holiday, they traded for Derek White, and they traded for Kristaps. And it's like, those aren't some like super. They had Derek White. Yeah. Didn't they trade for him? Wasn't it a steal? Didn't they move Malcolm Brogdon?
They did trade for him. They did trade for him, but it was like in season. It was like a trade with the Spurs in season. It was low key. And everybody was like, that might be good down the line, but they got him for cheap. So
they went and got Jrue Holiday, and then they went and get Kristaps for the low ski. Both of them were for the low, and they end up building out
Marcus Smart for Jrue Holiday. Basically.
Yeah, they end up building out this mega rotation. Like I don't think that you have to go get these massive stars nowadays. But in terms of the deal for Grizzlies Magic, I do think that it is kind of like a win-win. I don't think either team really lost it. I think nowadays people value these unprotected first-round picks and these high schoolers, these 14-year-old players. It's okay if like you said, if the Grizzlies end up making a conference final, not the Grizzlies, if the Magic end up making a conference finals or just end up having like a good, really good season, then I don't think people are going to care 5 years
games next year. Yeah, the trade was a success.
Yeah, bro, and like they have to address their needs. Like, what was their biggest need? They were one of the worst offenses in the league, and they were the worst shooting team in the NBA. You go and get a guy. You look at the top 10 shooters in the NBA. The most gettable one for them was Desmond Bane, and they go and they get him to fill exactly that need. They need shooting. I would say he's one of the 10 best shooters in the NBA. Career 41% shooter on 6 attempts a game. In the playoffs, he's a 39.6% shooter, so still well above average. Steph Curry's the only player in the NBA last year that finished with a higher number of catch and shoot jumpers off movement than Desmond Bane. And players with 800 threes made on 40% shooting since 2020, Steph Curry, Desmond Bane, and Zach LaVine. And Zach LaVine's 4 years older and has bad knees. So, like, if you're looking for an efficient, good shooter, Desmond Bane is the best you can get right now. I mean, hey, you could probably get Zach LaVine for the low ski, but like,
you probably could. He could get you some buckets.
I'm still getting Desmond Bane over there, and he's under contract through 2029.
I did want to bring up something about the Magic. So I was listening to Zach Lowe's podcast the other day. I think that was yesterday. Did you know the Magic have had a bottom 10 offense in the NBA since 2012? Every year since 2012, they've had a bottom 10 offense in the league.
Mm-hmm. I'm not shocked.
That's what, bro. No, that's insane. Like that's like something the Cleveland Browns would do in the NFL. Yeah. Like, oh my God, the Cleveland Browns have had a bottom 10 offense because their quarterback's been shit for 10 years. I don't know, bro. Like the Magic, they're doing magic. Let them do something, bro. They haven't been relevant since Dwight Howard.
Bro, they had 41 wins this season, and that's with Paolo missing time, Franz missing time, Jalen Suggs missing time, and having the worst offense in the NBA. Like, I think realistically, if things go right and they get healthy seasons out of their not technically their big three anymore, but like Suggs, Paolo, Franz, and you get a good season out of Desmond Bane, like I think their starting lineup of Suggs, Bane, Paolo, Franz, or switch whoever you want to play the 3 and the 4, Franz, Paolo, whatever, and then Wendell Carter, Goga, whoever you want to, Mo Wagner, whoever you want to put at the 5, is one of the better starting lineups in the East. Like I think that is a very good starting lineup. I don't think you can find me 4 better starting lineups than
they need a little bench though. Like I don't want them to make the same mistake that the Knicks made, where you just don't have a bench to trust. But listen, man, the Magic have not been relevant for a long time. And honestly, they if their offense doesn't even have to be like super elite. Their defense is so good that their offense can be middle of the pack, 16, 14.
And Desmond Bane's not a
17.
bad defender. He's not some elite. I'd say he's like an average defender. He's not getting like hunted, like
no. He would probably be the one to get hunted, but
but like that's still you take your chances most of the time.
He's got short arms. That's why he's not a great defender.
I said before that I like D'Angelo Russell on the Magic. I don't know if they have enough money to sign him. I don't know how much D'Lo's going to take.
Like, what is
I don't know. I don't know what he's going to ask for. It might be ridiculous.
He better sign for 15 mil and call it a day.
If he's willing to take like a decent contract, I do like him on the Magic still. Like if they're closing 5, if they go small, like as their 6 man, but like if they go small and close with D'Lo, Suggs, Bane, Paolo, Franz, like I think that's giving hell to a lot of teams.
No, you're getting cooked. Paolo at the 5?
Oh, you're not getting cooked. If you're going small, like if you're just
small, every team's going. He's not a center. He's a wing.
That's cool. He can grab some rebounds though. If they going small and you're purposely,
Paolo cannot guard.
What bigs in the East are we worried about? Giannis? That's about it. We worried about Evan Mobley cooking Paolo? No.
Yes.
I'm living with that.
Paolo.
I'm living with Evan Mobley cooking Paolo if that's what the Cavs want to do. I'm living with
it. Might work. It might work.
I'm living with that. I'm cool off that. I'm not worried about no bigs in the East. Who is really Cat? You want to do Cat? Cool. Maybe
Cat would cook him too.
I'm okay with that. Brunson, does that mean the ball out of Brunson's hands? Other than that, that's it.
But I will say the Magic. The Magic. I was about to say the Magic have given the Pacers hell this past season. So honestly, they match up really well with the Pacers. If their goal, like how the Knicks was last year, hey, we got to build a team to beat the Celtics. If the Magic said, hey, as crazy as this is about to sound, we got to build a team to beat the Pacers. Maybe that's what they feel like. Hey, Jalen Suggs on Tyrese, which Jalen Suggs is an elite defender. Say what you will about him on offense. He's an elite defender. Franz is a plus defender. Paolo's a plus defender. Depending on who's playing center, they're okay defensively. But I don't know, man. It's fucking June. I don't know. Yeah. It's a good trade. It's great to talk about. I like it on both sides. I'm interested to see what the Grizzlies do. I'm interested to see what the Magic do. I'm interested to see who else gets moved this offseason. There's so many names being thrown around. Like, obviously, KD, Giannis, but also Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Like, do the Kings keep them? I've seen Trae Young's name. I've seen who else?
Lauri Markkanen, Jaylen Brown, Austin Reeves, a bunch of who may or may not move.
The Sixers like trading away Paul George for like something in the draft. There's a lot of shit that's in the air. Let's just sit back and enjoy it, man. This might be an offseason like one we've never seen before, and honestly, I hope it doesn't disappoint, and I hope the Heat don't trade for anybody big because they'd be trading away their whole fucking team. They should just rebuild.
Yeah, Kello Ware, baby. I did want to ask you because I think Desmond Bane is kind of like a hard player evaluation because I think it's like clear the players he's better than, and I think it's clear the players he's worse than. So I wanted to do a would you rather with Desmond Bane, but the players that were tough to kind of find. So I'm gonna say a player. You tell me if right now you're taking them or Desmond Bane. All things included, offense, defense, just pure player. Because they were both recently traded for a fuck ton of picks. Desmond Bane or Mikal Bridges.
I think I would take Bane.
I would also take Desmond Bane. Yeah, I think
shooting is a premium in the league. As great as Mikal is a defender, and he's a good shooter. But as we've seen Bane. Would you consider Bane the second option offensively on the Grizzlies for the last few years?
I guess I'd say when all three of them are healthy, I'd consider him probably the second option.
Because I remember when they were playing the Timberwolves and he was averaging like 26 against the Timberwolves in that one series. So like I've seen him elevate his shooting to a point where he looks like top 3 shooter in the league at times. But I mean, Mikal is a good player. That's tough. I take
I lean Desmond Bane. But I do think like he's that tier. They're in the same tier of player. That's
Yeah,
what
they
I'm saying.
are.
Like it's clear who he's better than and who he's worse than. So it's tough to find these like mid players. Desmond Bane or Franz.
Franz.
Yeah, that see, like, and I think pretty clear too. Like, I think Franz is very
Yeah,
clearly
like
better than
I didn't
Desmond
even
Bane.
I didn't even hesitate with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Clearly Franz.
Desmond Bane or Jamal Murray.
Ooh. I don't know. I have an issue with Jamal Murray's
Yeah, I'm low on
consistency.
Jamal Murray.
I'm not low on him because I know he shows up when he's needed most of the time, but I just have an issue with his consistency. But I would still take Jamal Murray just because he a big playoff moment guy. He still is a great offensive player. Honestly, they are similar in terms of like what they bring to the table, like shooting. Maybe Jamal Murray's a better playmaker, but he's not really an elite playmaker. He's a great scorer, great shot creator. Defensively, they're both like So yeah, I take Jamal Murray slightly.
Yeah. Desmond Bane or Tyler Herro.
Tyler Herro.
Yeah.
They're in the same conversation. But Tyler Herro to me is a better scorer, and they're both elite shooters, in my opinion. Yeah. Bane is probably a little bit of a better defender, but I think Herro has been in a role where, like, on the Heat, like he's in a role where if he doesn't score, who the fuck else is scoring?
Yeah,
like it's really like, bro, you got to play make, you got to score, you have to shoot, you got to be the floor spacer, you got to be the biggest threat, be guarded by the best player. So like, this is a number 2 guy in reality. He's probably a number 2 on a good team, a number 3 maybe on a championship team, asking to be the number 1, being asked to be the number 1, being guarded by other teams' number 1. I don't think Desmond Bane has ever really had to do that per se. Maybe a little bit while Ja was out, but not for a whole season.
Desmond Bane or Austin Reeves.
I'll take Bane.
I'm taking Austin. And granted, maybe I'm biased, but I think I've seen Austin Reeves walk down Desmond Bane in a playoff series not too long ago. And I do think that Austin is tasked with, before we got Luka at least, doing a little bit more than, I think he's a better all-around player currently than Desmond Bane is. But I do think it's fair to say, like, I think they're the same tier of players, so you can go either way.
I think Desmond Bane's scoring outweighs Austin to the point where I would just take him. Like, he's just that much better of a scorer and that much better of a shooter that I'd be like, yeah, even though he can't create maybe as well as Reeves or play make as well as Reeves, he's just a better offensive player, which outweighs everything else.
No, I think that's fair. Desmond Bane or Zach LaVine?
Ooh.
You see, like, it's tough.
I'm gonna lean Zach LaVine because I feel like nobody realized how good of a season Zach LaVine just had. He was very efficient, especially once he got traded to the Kings. The Kings were playing, I don't know, decent basketball, but I mean, he was kind of like a diamond covered in shit. Like the Kings were not making the playoffs, but he was cooking. So shout out Zach LaVine. He's still a really good player, really good scorer, still a really good shooter.
3 more. Is that Desmond Bane or Kobe White?
Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane or Tyrese Maxey?
Maxey.
And then Desmond Bane or James Harden?
Harden.
Yeah. See, I was trying to find players, and I'm like, he's either
I would say
clearly better or very clearly worse.
The only guy that I'm like, that's really like toss-ups for me is, you can argue Herro because like I might have a little bias, but like Herro, Bridges, LaVine was a tough one, and I guess Austin Reeves. Like, those are the only ones where I was like,
Yeah.
But
and I think they were all clear. In that same team.
Yeah, there were a lot of clear ones where I'm like Desmond Bane or the other option.
Yeah. The last basketball thing we want to talk is like, Jalaal had actually brought this up, like signature moves when it comes to basketball players, and we wanted to give our top 5 signature moves. For me, I don't know if you were saying like top 5 in general all time, but I ranked it as my personal favorite top 5 signature moves.
Oh, I did it like the ones that I thought were the most unguardable.
Okay,
For
that's
me.
still fine. That's still fine.
Yeah.
So
You
if
have any honorable mentions?
I have no honorable mentions because I was struggled to get to, since I was going off based off just like ones that I enjoy. I was struggling to even get to 5. Like my 5 is just one
Okay.
that I just threw in there for the love of the game. I really got
Okay.
4 that I really fuck with, but 5 I just threw in for the love of the game. So if you got honorable mentions, go for it.
Okay, so my honorable mentions, I had to do one for like just to pay homage to the game. I put George Gervin's finger roll. Never
Okay.
seen George Gervin play in my life,
Yeah, I was
obviously.
gonna
He played
say.
in the 70s. But his finger roll is iconic. And honestly, I went to go look at some clips of his finger roll. Has some of the most English I've ever seen put on a basketball, bro. So I was like, you know what? He could get jelly in the fuck out of that shit, bro. I was like, all right, cool. I put Kobe's fadeaway. I couldn't put it in my top 5 because I have 2 other fades in my top 5. Spoiler alert. And I'm like, his fade is also a result of somebody else's, so I can't really give him credit for that one. KD's hezzy pull up, I put that one in there. I almost put that number 5 because honestly unguardable. Harden's step back.
Oh,
Maybe one of the most iconic moves, and honestly, one of the most impactful moves in the way people play basketball now. Like everybody's doing a step back 3 between the leg side step. Like whenever you see anybody pump fake for a 3, they don't step inside the 3-point line. They sidestep to the next open spot on the 3-point line. So shout out to Harden for his impact, regardless of the criticism I've given him over his career. And the last one, just for jokes, the fuck you step back LeBron stare at the ball 3.
Yeah.
I feel like when he does that, he shoots 60% from 3. And he honestly doesn't do it that much anymore. But when he used to do it, it felt like every time he put it up, it was money. Can we like just run through our 5? Because I kind of want to make it like I kind of want to see if you can make it into a TikTok.
Yeah.
So here's my 5. I'm going from 5 to 1. 5, I have D Wade 0 step, specifically D Wade 0 step. I could have went Manu Ginobili because technically he was the first guy to do it. I just like D Wade's style of his Euro step because he was such a downhill player and so aggressive, and as quick as he was, like his athleticism allowed him to just bop the fuck out of you and out your shoes. Like the first one that comes to me is the one on KG. Made KG do a fucking 360 in the middle of a playoff game, bro. Like go sit your ass down. That's an elite defensive player of the year. At number 4, I have Allen Iverson's crossover. Seen a lot of niggas touch earth off this one crossover. Almost made Michael Jordan touch earth. My brother, if you're making one of the GOATs lean back, lean forward, and you got Kobe on skates, LeBron on skate, yeah, bro, you got it, bro. And I saw him at the airport today. Shout out Allen Iverson, one of the GOATs.
Shout out.
At number 3, Dirk Nowitzki's one-leg fade. Maybe, arguably, the most unguardable shot in NBA history. But I think also a revolutionary shot. We see a lot of taller wings. Like KD does one-legged fades. Wemby does one-leg fades. Luka does one-leg fades from the 3-point line. Crazy. LeBron does them. I've seen a lot of guys that grew up as tall wings or tall guards do this type of fadeaway. And at the time, it was unguardable, and it's still unguardable. And Dirk was 7 feet tall. And one of the greatest shooters of all time. Shout out Dirk. Number 2, Michael Jordan. Patent fadeaway. Never seen that shit get blocked. Honestly, they probably hid the clips, but fuck it. We're going to roll with it. Mid-range maestro, demon. One of the greatest players of all time. One of the greatest shooters in the mid-range of all time. Shout out to the Baldy Gambler. And at number 1, for my OGs, we got Kareem Skyhook. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. If Kareem was shooting this shot in today's NBA, it still wouldn't get blocked. I'm looking at the shot, and as maybe Wemby or Giannis, probably the only 2 guys that might contest it. But like, bro, he's shooting it above the hook shot is going above the square while it's arcing in the air. Like it's unblockable. It's the most unguardable shot in NBA history. Never been blocked. And if you need proof that it's unguardable, Magic Johnson used it to beat the Celtics as the game winner over Larry Bird. Honestly, if I need and it's one of those shots where if you're playing horse against somebody and you need a shot that nobody can hit, if you know how to make a hook shot, you probably gonna win the game. So shout out to Kareem, one of the GOATs. I would throw his sky hook in there against anybody's signature shot of all time.
Boom. I ranked it by my 5 just favorite moves of all time, like favorite signature moves of all time. Number 5, I originally had the Jordan fade, but I'm taking that out. I put it in for the love of the game. My actual number 5 is the Harden step back. I think that like it's just been, yes, I did just change it. It's been duplicated so many times and never to the success or like just presentation wise or effective, just pure effectiveness. Like I think even Luka does like his own version of a step back. And his is more like a pullback, but even still, like I think the Harden step back just dominated NBA culture for a good like 2-3 year stretch. So that's definitely 5 for me. My number 4 is the Carmelo triple threat jab step midi, like the get the ball and get into triple threat. Hang. That shit is so tough, bro. Like, like just infinite jab steps and catches the ball in the post, face up. It don't matter who in front of him.
Hey, I'd still do that shit to this day.
Going back the other way. That shit is so tough. So that's number 4 for me. Number 3, kind of like you said, it was your number 3 as well. The Dirk one-legged fadeaway. I just feel like it's iconic. Like any fadeaway people do now, like that isn't just the obvious Jordan, Kobe looking fadeaways. Is people resonate with the Dirk fadeaway? 2 for me is the LeBron, the fuck you 3. It's not just I think LeBron's actual signature move for real is like the tomahawk wide arm dunk. But like I'm saying,
that's technically not a move.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a dunk. Like I don't know even know what his real signature move is.
I mean, if we were doing like signature shots, signature shots, I guess you could put dunks in there.
Yeah, but like I don't really know, but like for me, the fuck you 3, like the look at the ball and or even like when he just comes up court, it's not necessarily like a signature shot, but for me, when I think the fuck you 3, it's like when he's made 2 in a row and like he just pulls up from half.
The heat check, yeah.
That shit is tough, but we'll say for the sake of a signature move is to look at the ball shit. And then my number 1 signature move of all time is the Kobe dribble drive, pull up jumper, or the midi fade. Like whatever one you want to rock with, I think both is tough.
I thought you were gonna put Kobe pump fake spin double clutch shot because he did, but he only did that for like a 2-year stretch where he was just a nutcase.
I think for me the midi. Like the fadeaway stands out to me most. Like I think it's just iconic. Like that's the reason that people say it all the time. But when you like shoot some shit in the garbage, and you like Kobe, like that is what you envision doing in those moments. So like I think that is just iconic in its own. And for me personally, as him being my favorite player, is my favorite signature move of anybody ever. So yeah, that's our top 5. I could definitely make a TikTok.
Shout out to us. We both put our goats in our top 5 signature moves.
We did put our goats.
Stuff. I'm about to go watch videos on that shit.
Yeah, the Mellow midi was the one I was most proud of because I was thinking like that shit is tough. But yeah, that's our top 5 signature moves. Let us know what your top 5 signature moves are. If you're listening, if you're watching this on TikTok, let us know which one we was bugging on. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know which one we was bugging on too. So that is the NBA talk. We're gonna dive into some quick NFL stuff. Just do a little recap since we haven't talked NFL in a while. I wrote down a couple of moves that we can just give our thoughts on. Number 1, I think the most impactful move so far recently has been the Steelers signing Aaron Rodgers, signed him to a 1-year, $13.65 million deal, max at $19.5 million based on incentives. He's basically making Daniel Jones money. And so as your former franchise quarterback, I would like to know, what do you think on the Steelers signing Aaron Rodgers?
It's cool. They had a clear need at quarterback. So I don't think they're wrong for wanting Aaron. He's the best quarterback on the market, technically speaking. There was no other quarterback on the market.
No.
So, and I feel like they knew based on their moves during the offseason, they kind of knew, hey, we're getting Aaron Rodgers.
He was coming, yeah.
If they felt like he wasn't coming, they might have drafted Shedeur Sanders in the first, second, third round, whatever the case may be. But all in all, it's a cool move. He's the best quarterback they've had since Ben Roethlisberger, I'd say. Unless you think last year's version of Russell Wilson is better than this version of Aaron Rodgers. I don't really want to argue.
Last year's version of Justin Fields is what I won't say it.
It's not, but okay. couldn't hit throws down the field to save his fucking life. But anyway, with the addition of DK Metcalf, signing other, or they didn't sign, drafting
their team, their offense is ass. Caleb Johnson.
They did draft Caleb Johnson, so they don't have Najee Harris anymore. That nigga stinks. The Steelers are going to be a cool team. You know, they play in the AFC North. It's always competitive. They're going to be annoying. But I don't know. Like I think they felt like they needed a quarterback. They have proof has won in big moments. I don't know when's the last time he's actually done that, but he has a Super Bowl ring. He's won MVP, so the legacy is there. But I don't know how much better it makes them than maybe they were with Russell Wilson. But we'll see. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers came out and he was blinging shit down the field for 1 year for the last hoorah, because I feel like this is last year in the league. I don't know if any other team really wants him. So saying this is his farewell tour, I could definitely see Aaron Rodgers coming out having a nice little season as a 41-year-old quarterback. He might be 42 now. I don't know. As my former favorite player, hey, I wish him the best. Got DK Metcalf. Just throw the ball to him, man. I don't know. You ain't got shit else.
Yeah, I think it's like a low risk, high reward move for the Steelers. Like I don't blame him. Like if he's horrible and he flames out or he gets re-injured, then here comes Will Howard, and they probably are bad enough to get a decent enough pick to draft a QB in next year's draft. If he's good, then it's obviously a win. From December on last season, he threw 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he had some relatively good games at the back end of last season. I think the thing is that they're betting on him being an outlier for age. Like 41-year-old quarterbacks typically don't do very much in the NFL. Like outside of Tom Brady, no other 41-year-old quarterback is thrown for more than 3,000 yards. It's literally Tom Brady at 4,335, and then next is Drew Brees in the high 2000s. And he turns 42 in December, which means he'll play half the season at 42. And at 42, it's even worse. No quarterback outside of Tom Brady at 42 has thrown for more than 221 yards. So it's really just Brady. So you're betting on an outlier here already.
You're betting on Aaron Rodgers being Tom Brady.
Yeah,
which he has never been.
No, I do. If I had to pick what side I'm on, I'd probably think it's going to crash and burn. If they were in the NFC South or the AFC South, then I would understand. But you're literally going up against 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL in your division. And then Myles Garrett on the other end. The Browns are horrible, but I do think that they'll win. I'm not even going to say that. Fuck the Browns. I think just playing the Bengals and the Ravens is enough to make it so that this is a crash and burn situation.
Do you think the Steelers? So you think the Steelers missed the playoffs?
I will say the Steelers missed the playoffs. Yeah, I think the Steelers missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Me saying Aaron Rodgers would have a solid year doesn't mean the Steelers make the playoffs.
No.
Statistically, he might look like he had a great year, but
I just look at their offense and I'm like, okay, cool. The offensive coordinator is still Arthur Smith. I don't think Arthur Smith has had a great offense in a very long time. And so then we're already starting off there. Then we look at the players on the offense. They've paid DK Metcalf like a top 5 wide receiver, even though he's nowhere near that. He's not even a top 10 wide receiver. I'd say he's not even a top 12 wide receiver. As someone who's watched him for all of his career, I think that the idea of the DK Metcalf has always been better than what he actually produces on the field. Yeah. He's not a great contested catch guy. He's been in the league 6 years. 3 of them, he didn't even have 1,000 yards. He hasn't had a double-digit TD season since 2021. He hasn't had a 1,200-yard season since 2020. So you're paying him like a top 5 wide receiver, probably making him the focal point of your offense. Behind him, you're looking at a 5'9" Calvin Austin, a sophomore Roman Wilson, a 33-year-old Robert Woods, and Pat Freiermuth. Say what you want about Najee, but he's got 1,000 yards every single year of his career. So you could at least count on that. Now you're looking at Jaylen Warren and Caleb Johnson. So like I don't know what that ends up being. I actually like Caleb Johnson. So theoretically, you're probably making up
1,000 yards.
Yeah, you're probably making up the Najee Harris yards between the two. But regardless, I don't think it's going to be a good offense for Aaron Rodgers to run.
I say they win 7 games.
Right? Like I
6
think
or 7 games. Like,
they break the Mike Tomlin streak.
That's why I'm saying, like, I don't see them being much better than they were last year.
Yeah.
Even though their number one receiver is a little bit better than George Pickens and their quarterback is a little bit better than Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I wanted to do this. So I'm going to say a quarterback. You tell me when I say a quarterback that is worse than current Aaron Rodgers right now. Okay. Yes, Aaron Rodgers right now. So Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa. I think we're near it. Tua Tagovailoa, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, Bryce Young.
Okay, I'll stop you at JJ. Okay. I was like, I ain't seen JJ plays. I can't, in good faith, I can't say JJ's better than him.
Okay, I would rather have Bo Nix as a starting quarterback of my team than Aaron Rodgers. What about Justin Fields? The current player for player, you're taking Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
What about Russell Wilson?
With you in every time we talk about football, I just hit the fuck out of my mic. You bring up Justin Fields. You can't stop. Cut it out.
This is the season. You're gonna see.
Your tonsils.
You're gonna see.
Brother.
We going or Aaron. You're gonna see.
We saw
Aaron Glenn, Tanner Inkster. No, you saw 6 games and he was 4-2.
It was enough. Man, go watch
6 games.
Go watch.
What's my
boy on YouTube? Go watch Alex Rollins, bro. Alex Rollins broke down exactly what he breaks down NFL film. I love his videos. He basically explained why Justin Fields got benched, and
it's the same thing. So he's late on throws and all that extra shit. But this is the year. This is the year that it happens.
You sound fucking insane.
That's what people thought about Baker. That's what people thought about Sam Darnold. That's what people thought about Geno Smith.
Baker had already led the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs.
That's cool. Justin Fields was working with shit in Chicago, and he was working with shit in Pittsburgh, throwing to Calvin Austin and who they even have last year, Pickens, who didn't run real routes when Justin Fields is throwing the ball. Okay, so listen,
he was fine when Justin Fields was out there. He stopped running. He stopped running routes. He stopped running routes when Russ became. Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I tweeted it last year. He was playing with the worst wide receiver separation of any quarterback in the NFL and still managed to go 4-2 and got benched. And it's cool. It's whatever. They go, oh my God, week 1, we going to see. We going to see.
Okay. So excuse me, my brother. What do the Jets have right now? Because to me, the Jets are a worse version of the Steelers.
They have a better
Garrett Wilson is better. Garrett Wilson is better than George Pickens and DK Metcalf. I will give you that. Breece Hall.
I think Breece is better than Najee.
Sure, but Breece Hall compared to the dynamic of Jaylen Warren and Caleb Johnson. Production-wise, it might be similar. Production-wise.
But Braylon Allen, come on. Braylon Allen is better than Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren.
Allen, he averaged like 3 yards a carry last year.
It's better than that. I think they should also. Arthur Smith is also horrible. Granted, they have an offensive coordinator in Tanner Engstrand that has never been an offensive coordinator before, but he is from the Ben Johnson system. He's showing the fucking Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard and Malachi Corley.
Alan Lazard not even on the team.
Yes, he is.
He is.
Yeah,
I thought he left. I thought he left for Rodgers.
No, he probably will. But that's who he's throwing to. It's not good, but I think that they're not going to make the playoffs. If the Jets make the playoffs, it'd be a fucking miracle. It'd be a fucking miracle.
I don't even know if they win 5 games, bro.
I don't think they're going to lose because of Justin. Like, I think he's going to have a good season where he throws for 3,000 plus yards and 28 touchdowns
twice a year.
That's cool. That's fine. I think that is what
they're going to lose to the Dolphins at least once. They're going to lose to the Dolphins at least once. They might lose to the Patriots once.
That's fine. The Patriots are horrible. The Patriots are a horrible football team. People continue to say
somehow they won 3-4 games last year, and they're much better this year.
Well, one of them was against the backup Bills with Joe Milton and shit. So I'm not even counting that.
Okay, 3 games with a shit team, and they're much better than they were last year. And Drake May is much better than Justin Fields.
Stephon Diggs is doing coke on a boat. Kyle Williams, we don't know how good he is.
Hey, Michael Irvin. That's all I'm gonna say. Michael Irvin, give him the booger. If the booger sugar is working, give it to him.
Okay, we gonna see. But yeah, I mean that regardless, I think Steelers Aaron Rodgers is gonna crash and burn. Just to go through the other ones quickly, Jaire signs with the Ravens, 1 year, $6 million deal. He turned down other deals to go rerun Louisville with Lamar. I think that's probably a good deal for the Ravens. They have one of the best secondaries on paper. Kyle Hamilton, Jaire, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins. They drafted Malachi Starks from Georgia. Like, they were the 6th worst passing defense in the league last year. So, like, they're clearly trying to put an emphasis on the secondary. So, hopefully it works out for them. I mean, if they stay healthy and shit, they should have a pretty demonic secondary.
Stay healthy is a big if because, over the last 4 years, Jaire Alexander's played half of the games that the Packers have played. But I do wish him the best. I love Jaire, love what he did for the team. I like the fit. I think it was a clear hole for the Ravens. They had secondary issues all year. They got toasted by the Bengals every time they played them. Got toasted by the Chiefs when they played them. So, like, if this is the move, and honestly, $6 million is low risk, high reward, especially for a corner. Hopefully it works out for them. The Ravens have been trying to get over the hump for the last, I want to say 5 years since Lamar has become a full-time starter, and there's always something. It's always something. Yeah. First, it was Lamar didn't have receivers. Then it was the running backs weren't reliable enough. Then it was Lamar himself. Then it's been the defense the last couple of years. So we'll see how it works out. But it's a good move, especially when you got to go up against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins twice a year. And I mean, DK Metcalf is no slouch. We just called him a top 20 receiver in the NFL, but
and Jerry Jeudy.
You still need somebody good to cover him. Like,
overall, I think it's a W move for the Ravens. The next one I wanted to just run through real quick. Cowboys trade for George Pickens. Happened a while ago. They traded a 2026 third and a 27 fifth. I understand why they did it. It's the last year of his rookie deal, so if they don't extend him, he will just flat out be a free agent at the end of the year. If he walks, you lost a third. I think you can live with that, to be honest. But for right now, you've got one of the more talented wide receiver duos in the league, and the Cowboys have been trying to find a wide receiver 2 for CD for a while now. They tried Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and I think they finally settled on George Pickens. I do think you need to be a dynamic offense in their division, the NFC East. Like, you have the Super Bowl champs and the Eagles. You have the NFC Championship Commanders. And then you have the Giants, who on paper have one of the scariest defensive lines in the NFL with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter. So, like, you do need to have more than one threat on offense. So I think that it makes sense for the Cowboys. And I understand why the Steelers did it too. So what were your thoughts on the George Pickens deal?
I think I like it more for the Steelers than the Cowboys. I feel like the Steelers, they were just, it was a tough, toxic situation. When you have a wide receiver not playing football but being on the field, like, bro, he has to go. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, but that was at a point of no return. It was kind of similar to like Jaire Alexander with the Packers. When once you lose certain guys mentally, like there's no coming back from it. I like it for the Cowboys, but I don't love it because I have offensive line concerns about the Cowboys. Dak health concerns,
running back concerns. Yeah.
Their starting running back right now is Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue
and Miles Sanders.
That's their running back core, and it might be okay, but Javonte Williams injury prone, Miles Sanders injury prone and ass, and Jaden Blue is what, a 5th round rookie?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's cool for we talk about fantasy football and oh my god, like who's the best wide receiver duo in the NFC? They're not even the best wide receiver duo in their own division. So it's cool.
Second.
It's the most sure, but
because Debo's dust.
He's not dust. I think he'll be all right. But I I'm still have concerns about their defense. Trayvon Diggs is still coming back from injury. Deron Bland was injured last year, came back a little shaky. So there's real questions. Michael Parsons, his motor and his consistency, and what type of player is he really? Like, is he the superstar that you want to build around your defense? They got bigger concerns than fucking wide receiver too.
Yeah.
So, but it's the most Cowboys shit ever. So, hey, hats off to Jerry for doing the most Jerry Jones shit that I've seen. It'll be cool to watch. It'll be fun to watch. I'm sure the Cowboys will be in a bunch of shootouts. And that'll be great for me because I'm probably going to draft one of CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens.
Boom. The other two major ones were running back deals. Nick Chubb signed with the Texans. J.K. Dobbins signed with the Broncos. I think the Nick Chubb one is bigger just because he's been one of the Browns franchise goats. Now he's with the Texans. It makes sense for the Texans because it's low risk 1-year deal. You now have some insurance behind Joe Mixon because before you had like Woody Marks and Damian Pierce and that wasn't cutting shit. And J.K. Dobbins with the Broncos. Sean Payton has been looking for what'd you say?
I forgot the running back's name. I forgot his name.
Ogunbowale, Dare Ogunbowale. Yeah, there you go. And then Dobbins for the Broncos, it makes sense. You draft RJ Harvey, and really behind him you have like Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime, all these are they good? Are they not? J.K. Dobbins when healthy. I do love me. I'm pissed that they even signed him for dynasty purposes, but real life football purposes, J.K. Dobbins is better than Audric Estime. Yes, so it makes sense. And yeah, I just think the Sean Payton Broncos offense is going to be pretty good, and J.K. Dobbins now gets to go up against the Chargers twice this season and show them why they should have kept him. So yeah, I like the deals for both teams. Did you have any outgoing thoughts here?
The Chubb one didn't really move me. I was like, that's cool, giving Mixon taking some load. They really ran Joe Mixon into the ground. He's not 28 years old and was already getting run into the ground by the Bengals before he got there. It's cool. The fuck? My fault. It's like a flock of birds just flew by my window. Not to make me think the second coming is here, but it was cool. I give it a B signing. It'll help them overall throughout the season just so that they can keep guys healthy and not have to throw pieces of shit out there behind CJ Stroud. Damian Pierce doesn't even play, bro. He's a special teams player. That is crazy to me. For the J.K. Dobbins side, I actually really love the signing just because I've been rooting for J.K. Dobbins just to come back and be healthy because when he came out of Ohio State, I loved him. And he was great on the Ravens, and then he just couldn't stay healthy. And finally, last year, he got his chance. And he looked really good for most of the season, kind of wore down, but I think it's good for him and for RJ Harvey just to have a guy that can take some of the carries away. And Sean Payton knows how to use committees. He's used Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams. He's used Mark Ingram and Darren Sproles, I want to say, and Mark Ingram and also Alvin Kamara. He's had Adrian Peterson at one point. So he knows how to mix it up and keep his running backs fresh. And hot take, I think the Broncos might be the first team to give the Chiefs some real trouble in the division, bro. I think they'd be second in their division. Their defense is legit, top 3 in the league. And yeah, I like it. I would give it a A just for the risk and reward and what J.K. Dobbins brings to the table. I think right now he might be better than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is coming off of like monstrosities of injuries. So like I don't even know what Nick Chubb looks like right now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And so yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Run It Up Podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Run It Up Podcast everywhere the podcasts are found. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating and review. Subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment, fuck with us. Yeah, follow us on Twitter at the Run It Up Pod. Oh no, follow us on Twitter at Run It Up Pod. The TikTok is at the Run It Up Podcast. Everything will be in the description. Find me on Twitter at Najee Adams _.
What's the Instagram, brother?
The Instagram will be I don't know what name is taken. Hopefully it could just be Run It Up Pod. But it might have to be the Run It Up Podcast, depending on what's taken. Because like I don't think none of that. It should be easy to get the name. But yeah, IG is coming. I promise you that IG is coming. You can find Jalaal on Twitter at jsandy45. And yeah, I hope you guys have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life. And just like we do on every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go run it up.